You mentioned that you manually had to bring down Tennessee in the preseason JP poll. Now that we know they're for real, the question has to be asked, how far did you manually bring Tennessee down, and what was your thought process? I did say this in the preseason, and I shouldn't have, because people have asked me a trillion times about it since then. And as I was revealing the preseason JP poll, which is just power ratings, I showed you where Tennessee was. We had them 15th. JP poll had them 15th in week 1. And as I showed you Tennessee at 15, because we're live and I couldn't have Colin edit it out, I kind of made a remark in passing, hey, that's where I had to bump them down to. You should have seen where the model had Tennessee. And then I kept right on going. Well, you guys hear every word that is said on this show, and I appreciate that about you. But also I hate that about you, because I got called out, and I've been called out ever since. And now people want to know, well, what did you really have them? Well, I'm going to tell you tonight. JP poll, I bumped them down to 15. The AP poll had them not ranked at all in the preseason, but the model originally had Tennessee at number 8. So we're starting the season with an AP not ranked team, and the model saying, top 10, top 10. And I thought to myself, and this is the last time I've done this, I thought to myself, I can put Tennessee in the mid-teens and still have it stand out. We're still going to be way higher than the AP, but it won't be so preposterous. It won't be so out of left field, because frankly, I don't worry about this anymore. There's been a pretty radical change in my concept on this in the past few months. I thought we were going to get accused of clickbait. Plain and simple. I did not put Tennessee in the top 10 in the preseason because I didn't feel like listening to accusations of clickbait. And yet, here they are. What are they right now? So they're top 5, I think, or top 6 right now. So they're higher even than I would have had them in the preseason. So lesson learned there. I also want to reiterate, I was telling this story to someone the other day at lunch. When I first got here, I've told this a couple of times, I think, but we got a lot of new viewers. When I got here, there was a guy named Lucas who used to work here. I don't know what he's doing now. There was a guy named Lucas who used to sit right next to me, and I remember talking to him on my first day, and this is when LSU had just blown up. It was right after that 2019 season. And so LSU traffic is through the roof. The go247.com traffic is through the roof, and LSU football's flying high. And I remember he and I were talking about what the next version of that could be. Like, what's the next fan base out there that's a sleeping giant? And we both kind of simultaneously said, it's Tennessee. Tennessee's the one because the fans never left. They struggled for a long time, but the fans never left. Now, if you were like me and you follow that stuff day to day, what you're seeing now is not a surprise. We could put out a video on our channel right now of me just coloring a picture of Neyland Stadium and it'd get 30,000 views. So it's not a surprise to us because I've seen that you never left. But I think a lot of the country, especially the ones who sold Tennessee down the river, the same one that goalpost is in now, I think a lot of folks who sold them down the river are surprised. Oh, wow, Tennessee fans still exist? Wow, they can still win there? Yeah, they can still win there. This is LSU 2019. I don't mean this team is as good as LSU 2019. I mean in terms of an awakening of a fan base and a reintroduction of a brand on the national scale. This is what LSU 2019 did with Joe Burrow and Ed Orgeron and all those folks. So I'm happy to see it because I knew it was possible the whole time. The other thing, on a somewhat lighter-hearted but equally a serious note, that is going to happen is a phenomenon that used to exist. If you're like 45 years old or older, maybe like 35 or 40 and older, you're probably, especially if you're a Florida fan, Bama fan, or Georgia fan, really anyone in the SEC who remembers when Tennessee used to be elite, there's a phenomenon around the SEC I like to call Rocky Top rage. And it only can occur when Tennessee's good. Because only when Tennessee is good do they have a reason to play that song 37 to 98 times in a given Saturday. It's normally happening when they're doing things on the field. Now, when Tennessee was an afterthought for a long time, a.k.a. the past 15 or so years, when Tennessee was not a threat to anyone in the SEC or the East even, and when they were struggling to make a bowl game, no one really cared about Rocky Top. All it did was evoke emotions of a generation gone by that hopefully, if you're an anti-Tennessee person, you'll never see again. Well, they're back. And I can tell you, if you're a Florida fan, you went on the road with them this year, you already experienced it. If you're a Bama fan, you were in Neyland a couple of weeks ago, you already experienced it. There's this PTSD that kind of gets associated with Rocky Top, the song. And the more they keep winning, the more you're going to hear it, and you're going to have to take a side. Because no one is indifferent on Rocky Top in the SEC. They either love it, and they woo every time it gets played, or they feel like finding the nearest cliff and hurling themselves off of it when they hear Rocky Top. And Rocky Top Rage is back. Now, I'm in the business of entertainment, and we feed off emotion of fan bases, so I guess that's a good thing for Late Kick, but it is not a good thing for some of you. Because some of you cannot handle a 5+ year sustained run of excellence in Knoxville, and we're only in year 1 here, but we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet. Make sure you like the video, and please subscribe to the channel. Not just for me, that's how we keep this entire thing free.